This Seed Starting Moment series is about the whys and some of the hows of my seed starting story. The number one tip that you're going to hear throughout this whole series is keep it simple and stay out of the rabbit holes. Whether you dream of being a flower farmer or you just want to grow flowers for your kitchen table, I'm Lisa Mason Ziegler. I'm glad you're here. Let's jump in. So this is Seed Starting Moment number 2, and it's about what I think is the secret weapon of soil blocking, the blocking mix ingredients, and why that start is so important. And friends, I think that I see now, and I mean, we know that we have research now to support this, is that the beginning 100% affects the end. Vigorous early growth is the foundation of superior growth later. You know, I've always been, because I started out as a flower farmer doing soil blocking and using living soil by not using sterile soil. I've been experiencing this the whole time. And now looking back over 2.5 decades, where there seems to be, to so many, such unexplained success to my growing. And I 100% attribute a key part of that to the blocking mix that I use and getting our seeds started quickly, healthily, and effectively. The start has a long-term effect. And you may have heard me speak of in the past that planting at the right time, planting cool flowers when it's cool and planting warm seasons when it's warm, lets our plants hit the ground and get busy immediately. When plants sit out there waiting or recovering, they get into trouble, right? Well, it's the same thing with seed starting. This is a key piece of it. Soil blocks, because the block is actually the blocking mix is both the container and the growing medium, then that is a huge piece of this pie, right? So the blocks require a really dense, fibrous material. It needs, I tell people, it's kind of like baking bread, right? You have to have the right ingredients for it to grow and rise. Well, soil blocks need a dense, tight material so that it has great water holding ability, but it also bonds to itself, because soil blocks are not nearly as fragile as we seem to think they are. They are during those first few days before the seed sprouts and roots start to spread out. But those soil blocks are really very durable once the roots grow through. So the mix that we follow is peat moss, compost, and some nutrients. The peat plays and you can actually substitute peat for cocoa fiber if you prefer, but the peat gives the blocks the body. That's kind of like a big part of the water holding and the fibrous part of that. But the compost or worm castings are the really important part, because in fact, it is the fungi and the bacteria and all that good stuff, all those organisms that are in the compost, which introduce your blocking mix to become a living blocking mix. Sterile soils, unfortunately, have nothing in them. So then when the bad stuff comes along, they have nothing to combat them, right? So things like dampening off, which is a bad fungi, there's nothing there to prevent that. So we're really taking that organic garden presence that we work so hard to get out in our gardens, because we let Mother Nature take care of her own and help her. We start that process inside in the seed starting part of it. I call it the little biological factory. We start that inside and get it started, because we now know from all the research, there's so much more focus now on regenerative farming and organic farming. It's now, there are studies out there that say those first few days of life of a seed really lays out the path for the rest of that plant's life. Those plants that get a vigorous, strong, healthy start will go on to perform better and be more disease and pest resistant. They're just easier plants to take care of. I know that I say that so often in my journey these last 25 years. And I think that I wasn't even aware of how much this step, seed starting with living soil in place of sterile soil, plays that. Now, just a couple little tips. The compost, it is definitely best to use the oldest compost you have hands on. It's actually recommended. Like if you're just watching this now and you're thinking, I have no old compost, the first thing you need to do is create your compost, purchase it, however you're doing it, whether you're making it. You make some now and set it aside to be your compost for next year, right? But you do the best you can. So we try to use the oldest, most processed. You don't want any chunks. You don't want any visibility in there. And then the other part is, and friends, it is so easy to make your own soil. You don't stop and make the components for the recipe each time you want a soil block. You actually, we're recording this in the winter. You actually want to like fill up a galvanized trash can of your sifted peat moss, your sifted compost, and have it ready and available to scoop out and make your mix. It is really so simple, but I am here to tell you, even if you're making it complicated, it is still worth it because this is a big piece. If you want to learn more about seed starting and soil blocking, I recommend you drop on over to thegardenersworkshop.com for the equipment, more guidance, our courses, and lots of videos. Till we meet again, friends, that's why I use living blocking mix. The start is so important. Ciao.